Okay, imagine this. You wake up, you're groggy, coming out of a deep coma, totally disoriented,
Uh-huh.
and you realize you're alone on a spaceship, millions, maybe billions of kilometers from Earth.
Rah.
No memory of who you are, how you got there, and next to you, two crewmates, dead.
That's intense. Really throws you in.
Right. It's a terrifying scenario. What on Earth or, off Earth could possibly lead to something like that?
Yeah. What chain of events gets you there?
Well, today, that's where we're going. We're doing a deep dive into Project Hail Mary. It's that incredible sci-fi adventure from Andy Weir.
The author of The Martian. People probably know that one.
Exactly. And this book, it's not just, a space story. It's really about ingenuity, resilience, and this really unexpected kind of friendship.
Absolutely. And our mission today for this deep dive is really to unpack the core ideas, the science, the surprising bits of knowledge in this amazing story.
We want to help you get not just what happens.
Right, but why it hits so hard, why it resonates, and, what big universal themes it's tapping into, things that go way beyond just space travel.
Okay, so let's start with the man who wakes up, Ryland Grace.
Hmm.
He figures out he's a former molecular biologist who somehow ended up as a junior high science teacher, which is fascinating, isn't it?
It really is, because
Yeah.
you'd normally expect, like, a test pilot or some military specialist on a mission this critical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does it tell us about the situation back on Earth, or maybe about Grace himself, that he's the one, humanity's last hope?
It tells you just how unbelievably desperate things had become. Earth was facing, well, catastrophe, an existential threat.
All right.
There was this microorganism, they eventually called it astrophage, and it was discovered doing something just terrifying. It was feeding on solar energy, our sun's energy, and multiplying like crazy.
Oh, wow.
And the worst part, these things were literally dimming the sun, sucking its power, causing this rapid, deadly drop in its output.
So like an ice age.
Exactly. Scientists were predicting a catastrophic ice age hitting Earth within decades, a really short time frame.
Okay, so total panic.
Total panic.
Yep.
And that led to Project Hail Mary. It was humanity's, absolute last resort. A Hail Mary pass, literally.
A one-way mission, right?
A one-way mission, yeah.
Yeah.
Super desperate. The goal was audacious. Fly to Tau Ceti, that's a distant star system.
Why Tau Ceti?
Because, unlike our sun, Tau Ceti wasn't dimming. So the thinking was, maybe there's something there, maybe an answer, maybe a natural predator to astrophage.
And the plan was just send the answer back.
Yep. Send any solution back home using unmanned probes. The crew wasn't expected to return.
And the big twist, the irony, is that Ryland Grace wasn't even supposed to be the astronaut flying the ship, was he?
Not at all. He was initially brought onto the project as a researcher.
Because of his background.
Yeah, he'd done some controversial work on non-standard life forms, things that could live in really unusual, extreme conditions that made his expertise valuable.
So how does the researcher become the astronaut? Especially for a one-way trip.
Well, the mission was obviously incredibly dangerous. Deadly, really. So the astronauts originally selected, they started dropping out, understandably.
Can't blame him.
No. So Grace, with his scientific knowledge being crucial, he was pressured, heavily pressured into volunteering. He became the sort of next best option.
Wow. Talk about being thrown in the deep end.
Completely. So he ends up on the ship, wakes up from that coma, and he's the only one left. It just underscores the sheer scale of the emergency back home.
Okay, so Grace starts coming to. His memory is fuzzy, but his scientific brain starts working almost immediately, right?
Yeah, that training just kicks in. He starts doing detective work, examining samples left on board, digging into the ship's data logs.
Trying to piece together what happened and what this astrophage stuff actually is.
Exactly. And he figures out something incredible about it. These tiny things, they can store a huge amount of energy. They convert energy directly into mass.
Which makes them,
Right.
what, dangerous?
Yeah,
Useful.
both. It makes them an amazing potential fuel source. This ship itself uses astrophage, but it also makes them the monumental threat that's killing the sun.
And what's really cool here, I think, is how he figures this out.
Right. It's pure science in action.
He doesn't have, superpowers or advanced weapons.
No, none of that. He survives using his intellect, his curiosity, logic. He applies basic scientific principles, runs experiments, gathers data meticulously. It's all trial and error.
It really grounds the story, doesn't it? Shows that brain power, that scientific method, is a survival tool.
Absolutely. It makes the whole thing feel so plausible. Even with the extreme circumstances, it emphasizes intelligence is the key.
Okay, so Grace is making progress. starting to understand the problem.
Yeah.
And then, just when he thinks he's dealing with cosmic isolation,
Bam. The universe throws him a massive curveball.
he finds something else out there, another ship, and it's clearly not human.
Definitely not human.
Yeah.
Alien design,
Yeah.
which is just mind-blowing, right? After everything else.
Totally. And this leads to one of the best parts of the book.
Oh, yeah. This is where we meet Rocky.
Tell us about Rocky.
Rocky, that's the name Grace gives him, of course, is this intelligent alien. Physically, he's sort of spider-like, lives in a high-pressure ammonia atmosphere. Very different from us.
And why is he out there?
Turns out, his species, the Iridians, they have the exact same problem. Their star, 40 Eridani, is also being dimmed by astrophage.
No way.
Yes. So Rocky, just like Grace, was sent on a desperate, probably one-way mission from his home world to find a solution. Two separate species facing the same threat, sending out their last hope.
That's incredible. And they managed to communicate despite being so different, breathing different atmospheres even.
It's amazing how they bridge that gap. I mean, physiologically, they're worlds apart. Rocky breathes ammonia, needs high pressure. Grace needs oxygen, normal pressure.
So how do they even start?
They find common ground. Shared goal, survival. And they build a language from the ground up using math and logic.
The universal language.
Pretty much. And Rocky is just as resourceful as Grace. He even modifies part of his own ship, creates this sort of interface area where they can meet safely, despite their environmental differences.
It shows that immediate drive to cooperate, doesn't it? Driven by that shared threat.
Absolutely. There's no immediate hostility, just problem solving. How do we work together?
And that relationship, their friendship, it's really the heart of the story, I think.
Totally agree. It goes so far beyond just biology or culture or, which planet you're from.
It's rare in sci-fi, isn't it, to see alien contact based on genuine, camaraderie and trust instead of the usual fear or conflict.
It really is. And it makes the theme of friendship beyond species so powerful. It's not just aliens and humans. It's two smart beings facing a crisis, choosing to trust each other.
And that trust, that cooperation, it actually leads somewhere huge.
Oh, definitely. Working together, combining their knowledge, Grace and Rocky make this massive breakthrough.
They find the solution.
They find a potential solution. A natural predator of astrophage. It's another microbe, which Grace nicknames Talmuba.
Talmuba, okay. And it eats astrophage.
Yes, it consumes astrophage, and crucially, it doesn't seem to harm other life forms. So it's the potential cure for both Earth and for Rocky's planet, Arid.
But there's a catch, I assume.
There's always a catch, right?
Yeah.
The Talmubas are effective, but they're also really delicate. They need very specific environmental conditions to survive and reproduce.
So they can't just, scoop them up and send them home.
Exactly. They have to work out how to breed them, how to keep them alive, how to adapt them so they can survive in the conditions around Earth's sun and around Rocky's sun. It's a huge scientific challenge.
And while they're doing this, the stakes get even higher, personally, for Grace.
This is where that moral dilemma really comes into sharp focus. You've got your duty to save billions back on Earth.
Your entire species.
Right. Versus this incredibly deep personal bond you've formed with this being from another world. Your friend. What happens when those two things clash?
And they do clash spectacularly. Rocky's ship gets badly damaged.
Yeah, a serious accident happens. It leaves Rocky basically stranded, or on the verge of being stranded. His own chances of getting the Talmuba back to his home world look grim.
So Grace has this impossible choice.
The ultimate choice. Does he stick to the original plan, send the Talmuba samples back to Earth, and hope for the best for Rocky? Or does he deviate, potentially sacrificing Earth's only hope to save his friend?
It's brutal. What does he do?
He chooses Rocky. In this incredibly powerful, selfless act, Grace decides he can't abandon his friend.
Wow.
He uses fuel, resources, changes his ship's trajectory, effectively giving up his own slim chance of ever getting back to Earth to make sure Rocky and the Talmuba samples can make it back to Arid.
He sacrifices his mission, his homecoming, everything.
Everything. For his friend, it's such a testament to his character growth, from this reluctant participant forced into the mission.
To someone willing to make the ultimate sacrifice.
Exactly. Based on empathy, based on that connection he forged. It really underscores the power of that bond.
So what happens to Grace? Does he just drift in space?
Well, the ending is quite poignant. Grace actually survives the journey with Rocky to Arid, Rocky's home planet.
He makes it there.
He makes it there, and he finds a new life among the Iridians. They welcome him. He becomes a teacher again, interestingly enough, teaching Iridian children.
A teacher across the galaxy.
Yeah, and he continues his scientific work. And he eventually gets confirmation, sees evidence from afar that the probes with the Tomiba did reach Earth. Earth is presumably saved.
So he saves both worlds in a
Yeah.
way, but he never goes home.
He never goes home. He finds a new home. His sacrifice saved humanity, but his selflessness also saved his friend and led him to this unexpected future.
That theme of selflessness and sacrifice is just so central, isn't it?
It truly is. His journey defines it. His choice wasn't about abstract duty in the end. It was a deeply personal decision to prioritize another being's survival over his own return. It shows empathy can bridge any distance, even interstellar ones.
So when you step back from it all, what's the big takeaway? Project Hail Mary isn't just a cool sci-fi romp, is it?
Oh, much more than that.
Yeah.
It's really a tribute, I think, to problem solving, to human and alien ingenuity.
And decency too, right?
Absolutely. Basic decency. And this incredible possibility that connection, real connection, can happen across any boundary, even species.
It feels like a story about hope, fundamentally.
Definitely. Hope in crisis is a huge theme. You have this backdrop of, a dying sun, global panic, the end of the world, potentially.
Yeah, pretty grim.
But against that, you see intelligence, teamwork, logic, and just the simple power of doing the right thing, lighting the way. It celebrates ingenuity, yes, but also those profound bonds that form when we face huge threats together.
It reminds us that maybe our shared intelligence, our shared sentience is more important than our differences.
Well put. That feels like the core message.
So, here's a final thought for you to chew on. Ryland Grace starts completely alone, no memory, lost in the void. He ends up finding connection, purpose, and even home light years away with a being utterly unlike himself. It really makes you wonder, maybe even in the coldest, vastest emptiness of space, it's those connections, compassion, friendship, understanding that truly light the way forward for anyone, anywhere.